And
Ridiculous.
why?
You're going to relegate my history to a month?
Oh, come on.
What do you do with yours? Which month is White History Month? No, well, come on, tell me.
Well, I'm Jewish.
Okay, which month is Jewish History Month?
There isn't one.
Oh, why not?
No.
Do you want one?
No.
I don't either. I don't want a Black History Month. Black history is American history.
How are we going to get rid of racism until...
Stop talking about it. I'm going to stop calling you a white man.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask you to stop calling me a black man. I know you as Mike Wallace. You know me as Morgan Freeman. You want to say, well, I know this white guy named Mike Wallace. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
That was the legendary Morgan Freeman with a strong message for Black History Month. Okay. So I hope everybody's having a great Sunday. Today is February 1st, the first day of Black History Month. Today is also the Pro Bowl. We are officially 7 days away from the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 60 will be next week on Sunday. And we put together three-leg parlay for next week. And let's see if we can have a 73% playoff for this year. Right now we at 68%. We nailed a lot of games. We did mess up, in the divisional round. And also in the conference championship we messed up. We had a mediocre conference championship. A so-and-so divisional. We had a perfect wild card though. Perfect. 7-0. And one of them we stood away from, which was the Pittsburgh Steelers game, right? Not every round is going to be the same, though. You guys know the closer it gets to the championship game, the trickier the narrative is. For the Super Bowl, it's the same thing every year. There's a lot of numbers on both sides, but I made a decision, and I also paired that decision with two other prop bets that I am guaranteeing are going to win. And I usually don't do that, but I'm guaranteeing it. If you guys go on a Patreon and read the notes, you're going to understand why. All right? So it's a three-leg parlay. If you're not on the Patreon, the way to get it is you have to send $30 to the Cash App above my phone number. I think it's above my phone number. And you also have to include your email address. So $30 in your email address, and I will send you all the notes and the three-leg parlay. And of course, you have to do it before Super Bowl Sunday. Also, if you're on the Patreon, you guys have to pay attention to any updates. Even if it's 10 minutes before the game, I am going to be updating you guys, especially if I see something like a huge red flag. I'm gonna let you guys know about it. So, my recommendation is don't place your bet until the game starts, because I'm gonna be looking at everything, reviewing everything, because I want to be 100% sure that what I'm giving out is accurate. I don't want to miss. I want us to win, and the only way to do that is by continuing to do the research. Because you guys know how. What was it? A few years ago, when the Kansas City Chiefs were playing the 49ers, they gave us a big clue in the NBA. They had 2 games in the NBA that day, and they gave us a big clue. Go look at my last video that I put out. I actually have the footage there that we caught on to it right away, and then on Super Bowl Sunday, I came out and made a video. I made a public video that day because at that time I was giving out the Super Bowl pick for free. I'm not doing that this year. I'm just not doing it because every year we give it out for free and nobody sends a tip. Nobody shows their appreciation, so we're not doing that anymore. Anyways, we picked up on a huge clue on the day of the Super Bowl, and that's why I felt even more confident in the pick. Even though we already had that team winning, but I felt even more confident. So my recommendation again is to wait until Super Bowl Sunday. If you have to place your bet, just try to do it in the electronic sports book. That way, if I say I think you guys should cash out and go with this pick instead. You'll be able to do it because if you purchase a ticket at a casino, they're not going to allow you to cash out because once you get a paper receipt, that pick is permanent. You cannot change it. All right, so yeah, so for the people on YouTube, we did give you guys out a pick for free. This is not one of those locks. This is not included in the 3-leg parlay. So if you want to go with this on YouTube, it's on you. I do think they have a slight chance of hitting. For example, we try to predict how many points the Patriots will score, and 41 points gets because they played in 11 Super Bowls, so 40 more. If you add up all the points in every Super Bowl, they have they have 246, and if they get 41, they'll have 287, and Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. equals 287. So if the Patriots get 41 points, they will have 287 points combined in all the Super Bowls that they played in, all 12 Super Bowls. Of course, Tom Brady won number 12. Another possibility is for them to get 35 points because that will give them to 60 points for the postseason this year. And of course, Tom Brady does equate to 35, so that's another possible narrative. None of these are locks. That's why none of these are included in that 3-leg parlay. Another possibility is for them to get 23, because 23 gets them to 269, and New England Patriots is 269. 23 plus 246. The 246 is what they've scored in the first 11 Super Bowls that they appeared in. And as for the Seattle Seahawks, they've been in 4. Actually, they've been in 3. This will be the 4th one. And they have scored 77 points in those 3 Super Bowls. 21 against them to 98. New England Patriots is 98. I also gave you guys Drake May not to throw an interception. They changed his odds. Now it's at plus money, so be careful with this. But the reason we went with this is because the Seahawks, they've intercepted the ball 19 times this year, including the playoffs. 19 interceptions. Of course, Seattle equals 19. Think about last week, they had a huge 19 ritual. The Seahawks became 19 and 19, 19 weeks. 19 and 19 in the postseason, 19 weeks after the post birthday when Seattle was 19. Those 19s alone, people asking me like, oh, what's the difference between the 19s and the 18s in the Bears game? Because you were so confident the Bears 18 wasn't going to come through. What made you so confident that the 19s was going to come through? Those two, the 18s in the Bears game and the 19s in the Seattle Seahawks game, they're two different. They're two different rituals, very different. That's why before the Seahawks game, I came out and I try to warn you guys. I said, you know what? These 19s are dangerous, but not because of the 19s alone. The reason what made those 19s dangerous is this. This is what made those 19s dangerous. Right here. It was Sam Darnold. Because from that game, which was on the 25th of January, from that game to his birthday, it was 131 days. And in Gematra's Super Bowl, it's 131 like championship. That was the one thing that made that even more that made it very dangerous. Right? So you have the 19s combined with that, with the 131 and Sam Darnold. That's what made it different than the 18s in the Bears game the week that on January 18th when the Rams beat them in overtime. That's what made it different. Also, the whole Seahawks Pope connection. You see, the Bears didn't have that. The Bears did not have that. The Seahawks did. And also, the way that game was lined up with Matthew Stafford's draft date. Notice from April 25th, 2009, that was the day that Matthew Stafford was drafted into the NFL, to January 25th, 2026, 201 months. Rams equals 201. And I'm predicting that he might retire, and that would have been officially his last NFL game, which means his career lasted exactly 201 months. You see, those 3 pieces together is what made that game a lot more different than the Bears game. The Bears had a nice little 18 narrative, but that alone is not enough. That's what I've noticed in my experience decoding sports games. You need more. And especially when you have a 131 in connection to the Super Bowl. You see, this 131, it's an important number in sports, but it's very important in football because Super Bowl is also 131. You see, if you see a 131 in basketball or baseball, it might miss every now and then. But I very, very rarely seen it miss in football. It does. I don't think it misses in the NFL, and this is the reason why. Also, speaking of Super Bowl, notice the gematria of Super Bowl. This is why I put up all this stuff up here so you guys can see it. Super Bowl is 131 forwards, 112 in reverse, and then 41 and 49 in the reduction ciphers, right? Go look up Sam Darnold's record during the regular season as a starter. He finished 49 and 41. 49 wins, 41 losses. And then he advances to the Super Bowl 131 days before his birthday. You see, all of these things is what made that game very dangerous. And I had to come on here and, and just say, you know what? I was wrong. I was wrong on the Rams. I thought that 666 was a lock. I was wrong about the lock part. I still liked the Rams all the way to the end. I said, you know what? I'm gonna ride with them until the wheels fall off, and I did. But I had to take away that word lock away from that game because it was not a lock, and I had to at least warn you guys. If you have a lot of money on it, please take some of it out because it might not happen. It might not happen for the Rams this year. This Pope stuff looks like it's the way they're gonna go with it. I just hate the fact that the media is putting this out there. You gotta be careful with the media though. The media likes to mislead. But I think they're using reverse psychology on us now. Now they're telling us the script so that we could go away from it. These slick motherfuckers. But one thing they're not ever gonna tell us is how the games are synced up with the birthdays, and that's what we was able to pick up, and that's why I had to put out the warning. So, read the notes on the posters already has been made on Patreon. Again, if you're on YouTube and you're not on the Patreon and you want the parlay, it's the 3-leg parlay. The odds is plus 300. So if you bet 100, you win $300. And I'm guaranteeing that all three are gonna hit. All three. You have to send a $30 Cash App to the Cash App right underneath my screen, above my phone number, with your email address, and that's how you get it. If you don't want to participate in it, it's fine. You're not obligated to. You're not obligated to gamble at all. If you're watching these videos just to learn, then it's fine. This is for the people who like to take advantage of the rigged system that the NFL has implemented. We killed the wild card. We had a mediocre divisional. We had a very bad conference championship, and we're gonna make it up in the Super Bowl, guaranteed. Guaranteed. And I don't just talk it, I walk it. I'm gonna show you guys the receipts, right? After the game is over. And what else? Let's see. Yeah, I don't want to overdo it with the prop bets. I'm only gonna keep it to those three. I don't want to overdo it because the thing about parlays is if you get one thing wrong, you lose everything. And I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth a risk. Especially because a lot of you don't listen to my advice. I always tell you guys, listen, the best way to make money is to straight bet. Just because I give you a 3-leg parlay, that doesn't mean you have to put them all in one ticket. You can straight bet all three. You don't have to bet them all in the same ticket. If you straight bet all three, even if you just hit 2 out of 3, you're going to make money. That's the goal, to make money. Okay, so let's see what else. Yeah, the winner of this, I already posted it. I have to do some editing. I don't want to take any gambles at all. I'm taking 0 gambles for the Super Bowl. We are playing it real safe. Now again, you guys can do whatever you want, but I'm not taking any gambles. Like this right here, putting a bunch of money on something like this, that's a gamble. That's up to you if you guys want to do that. I'm just showing it so that people can see, like, look how scripted it is. If they do get the 41 points, not only does Super Bowl equals 41, not only will they pick up their 41st postseason win, but they'll get to 287, and that's Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr.'s gematria name value. That would be something if the Patriots get to 41 points this season. I mean, on Sunday. Stuff like this. This is not guaranteeing that anybody's gonna win, but this is a trend that when the Super Bowl is in between two cities, the team traveling to the West Coast is usually the winner. It's happened 9 times in a row. That doesn't mean that the Patriots are gonna win, and it doesn't mean that the Seahawks are gonna win. That doesn't mean anything. Read the notes. That's what's guaranteed. That's what's gonna tell you who's gonna win this game. But again, I have to make some edits, so please wait until Sunday to make your wagers. Expect a little tribute to Malcolm Butler, the guy who called the interception for the Patriots in Super Bowl 49, because this is a rematch of Super Bowl 49, and this game is also 49 weeks after his birthday. Isn't it funny he wore number 21 and Sunday is 21 weeks after the post birthday? Man, I hope this guy doesn't kick the bucket anytime soon. That's how this stuff is, Next thing you know, Malcolm Butler's in the headlines, dead in a car crash on 49th Street. Yeah, so you said, yeah, so, and let me show you. Let me show you this. This is how we done in the 2025 NFL playoffs. The green is obviously the things we got right. The X is the thing we got wrong. The stop symbol is what we stood away from. And then on the bottom, we have the prop bets. Right now, we have 68%, which is well above average according to Google. They're saying that even your expert can only accomplish anywhere from 60 to 65. We already at 68, and I feel like we did a terrible job in the divisional and the conference championship. We should have done a lot better. So think about that. We had 68%, and we could have done a lot better. And it's still another game left. You guys saw what they did yesterday in the UFC? Look at this. Look how rigged this stuff is. So Alexander, I can't say his last name. I'm not even going to try. But he defeated Diego Lopez. And he was the favorite, but he wasn't a big favorite. He was like a negative 140. But notice why he became 28-4. It's because he was fighting against the guy with the 284 name. The UFC is a lot easier than boxing. I've noticed that. Sometimes the riddle is just is right in the name of the fighter. Diego Lopez da Silva, his name is 284. Yesterday, Alexander became 28-4 for his career. Nicknamed the Great, Alexander the Great. Yeah, from the UFC, people ask me, you think UFC is rigged? Of course it is. Of course. It's all rigged. It's all rigged. Yeah, so let's see how many Black History Month tributes they do today in the NBA. How many 42-59 scores we're going to see today. How many players are going to have 42 points today on the first day of Black History Month? Again, February equals 42, like nigger and slavery. Yeah, I think we put out the NBA stuff already. So, all right. So yeah, good luck everybody, and again, be patient. Don't have to bet. You don't have to place your bet today, you guys. All right. We have 7 days left until the Super Bowl. I'll leave it there because I'm sick, you guys. I just come on here because I want to update you guys with a video because I feel like when I write it, people don't understand what I'm writing. So I have to say it so people can understand what I'm saying, what I mean by what I wrote. All right, you guys, enjoy your Sunday and good luck on all your endeavors today, and stay warm because it's really cold on the East Coast. All right, you guys, peace.